Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we are going to do the second in my series that I call Beauty Basics. I will link the first below. Beauty Basics episode number 1 was about the actual difference between setting and finishing powder. Today, for episode number 2, we're going to cover a topic that may be intentionally a little bit, well, irritating. Today we are going to discuss makeup allergies, irritations from makeup. We've all had them, that product we love that either immediately breaks us out or makes us itch, or we can use for seemingly forever, and then all of a sudden, whenever we use it, we're irritated by it. Red skin, scaly skin. We're going to talk all about these things. We're going to talk about how to avoid them, what the common irritants and allergies and stuff are, and what the difference is among them. We're going to even get into that whole FDA pressed pigment danger situation and talk about that. And really kind of just peel back the layers and look at all this stuff. Now, of course, I do have to give the advisory that I am not a dermatologist. I am not a medical doctor. I am a journalist. I'm a fashion and beauty journalist. So while I have researched a lot of this and used products and had allergies and irritation from them myself, so I think I also have that kind of everyday experience, I don't have any medical degree. So of course, only listen to your doctor. But actually, I'm not really trying to answer any questions. I'm really more trying to ask some and put some information out there and get a dialogue going in the comments. This really is about the community here. And as we talk, I really hope that we get a lot of comments and such below talking about your experiences and your thoughts. And of course, within the community, we also probably have some chemists and some medical doctors who can weigh in as well. That part of it's not my job. Okay, so like I said, we have all had that experience with me, and you're going to go, oh, not again, Rebecca. For me, it was always the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate foundation, which is, you know, a lot of money, and you can see I was saving it and using it sparingly because it was so expensive and it's so beautiful, and months and months and months into it, it started to break me out. Is it the SPF going bad in it? Could be. That's what I'm thinking, although all SPF doesn't. There's a lot of detective work here. Lisa Eldridge foundation also makes me itch. It doesn't break me out, but oh, does it make me itch, and it makes my eyes itch. You know when you have the brush and you put a little bit on your eyes or near your eyes. This one took a while. It took a while to solve that this was causing it. Is it drying out my skin and making me itch, or am I allergic to something? These are all the things we're going to talk about. And I've mentioned this most recently, the brand new KVD Beauty Tattoo Pencil Eyeliner makes my eyes bright red and makes them itch for days even after it's removed. Common, of course, because when it's an allergy, I know this just from being allergic to cats and things. I know. I love animals and I'm allergic to most of them. But histamines rise up, and once they rise, they stay up for a while. And so when you expose yourself to an allergen, it can kind of last a while. That is why if you are allergic to something and you remove it, you still react for quite a few days. It's just kind of sets off a chain reaction. So bad. Okay, so those are my recent experiences. Not all of them are allergies. Some of them are just irritants, and that's where all this lies. Now, there's two types really of allergies to talk about here. There are irritant contact dermatitis. Okay, big words. That's just kind of when you're irritated by something when it contacts the skin, dermatitis. So burning, stinging, itching, wherever the product touched, you have a reaction to it. But then there's also allergic contact dermatitis. I know we're getting into it here, but where your kind of immune system is sensitized by it, right? And that's an actual allergy that will happen on the face around the product, but also could spread anywhere in your body because our skin being an organ, right? It transfers and sucks in the product. So you could get, even if you get hives or itching on other places of the body where you didn't use the makeup product. Who knew? Okay. I do have to clarify here, you guys, and some people might bring this up in comments, so let me preempt this discussion. I don't want this to go off on the rails on a not so pretty HBO situation. What's that? Okay, so HBO has a series currently called Not So Pretty. I don't advise you watching it if you're faint of heart. I actually had to stop watching it. It was very upsetting. The not so pretty content is talking about things like asbestos and stuff that winds its way into less expensive makeup products, or any makeup product for that matter. That's not what we're talking about. That's terrible and horrible. That there's toxins. Awful. Awful. Watch it if you're not faint of heart. But what I'm talking about now is reactions to good stuff. We're all going to have reactions to the bad, yucky stuff that's in a lot of can be filler that's used in knockoff makeup and things like that. And that's not what we're talking about, though that is terrifying. It is a separate subject. So let me just preempt that right now. But watch that if you're interested in recoil and horror. Okay, so what are the common things that so many of us react to in makeup? Fragrance, of course, and some of us, it's not all fragrance. Some of us, it's every fragrance. Some of us, it's a migraine reaction. So it's not even a skin allergy, but it's a headache or sneezing or just generalized discomfort from a fragrance. So we all like to talk about that, but fragrance is everywhere, and what a hard thing to describe. I mean, you could have a beautiful fragrance. You could have a fragrance that's just covering up a chemical smell. You can have no fragrance at all, like in clean beauty, and that will have a weird smell. So any scent, it doesn't have to be added fragrance and a preservative. This is what we talk about with clean beauty. The preservatives in makeup actually kind of are great. I've had a lot of you tell me that with your clean beauty, you go to open a cream blush and it's, you know, moldy or yucky. Well, it doesn't have those preservatives, so it's a trade-off. But sometimes those preservatives can be sensitizing or cause allergies. All those chemicals that are used in hair dyes, color and stuff. I know a lot of people who've reacted to hair dye and start itching after they get their hair dyed and have to stop using hair dye. So that is one of them. Lanolin, commonly used in lip products, and that can cause a reaction in people. Coconut. Oh boy, coconut can do a number of things. Coconut can make us itchy. Coconut can also make us break out. Coconut oil is really thick. If you were to, say, get out of the shower and put coconut oil on your legs, you would get really greasy legs because the skin doesn't really absorb the coconut molecules. They're really kind of big fat molecules, so it can clog our pores. So a lot of times people that have products that they use with coconut oil in it, that's different than a coconut scent, but it can cause a breakout, right? Sunscreen allergens. I think that's what I had with my beloved Tom Ford, and I get a lot of people in comments that say the minute a foundation contains an SPF, they cannot use it. And I get a lot of you out there that actually just have to wear big hats and things in the sun because any sort of sunscreen, mineral or physical, has you breaking out or itching. Rosin, shea butter, cornstarch. That's a big one. A lot of people have gotten to where they can scan a label, and if a powder has cornstarch, they can't use it. A lot of itching from cornstarch. Avocado and avocado oil. Somebody told me, and I have not verified this, that avocado oil allergies and nut allergies are closely related. Makes sense. My oldest daughter has a nut allergy and gets very itchy if there's avocado in anything inside of her mouth where it's touched, and she has a nut allergy. So I wonder if that may be true. Niacinamide. Okay, niacinamide is the darling right now of the skincare industry, right? You're never going to find a skincare product that doesn't have niacinamide in it. And a lot of people get a really flush from niacinamide. And I've heard it depends how the niacinamide is processed, blah, blah, blah. Again, I'm not a chemist or an MD, but even things that are good, that everybody loves, can in fact have an impact in things like a rash and hives, puffy, raised areas of your skin, small red spots on the skin, swollen eyelids or lips. Have you ever had any of these? Itchy eyes, itchy lips. Boy, I got the itchy eyes and the itchy lips with the Lisa Eldridge foundation. It's funny because I'm wearing her sweatshirt. I do love Lisa Eldridge, but can't wear this. Watering eyes, red itchy eye, whites of the eyes get red. That's what happens to me with this eyeliner. You can get scaly looking skin. Yuck, I know. And essential oils a lot of times can irritate or sensitize skin because they're so concentrated. So I know a lot of people can use products that contain essential oils, but buying the oils by themselves, people say, can work really well and then slowly sensitize the skin until you get an allergy. And you know, that's the thing, you guys. A lot of times, allergies build. I don't know if you know this, but allergies build. So if you are allergic to something, a bee sting, something like that, the second, third time you get stung by a bee, it will be worse. That's why people carry EpiPens and such who have peanut allergies and stuff. Allergies do build. This I know, this we all know. So something like that can happen where an oil will slowly be sensitizing the skin and then bam, you react. I have a friend who used Charlotte Tilbury eyeliners and just loved them. And then one day called me and said, my eyes will not stop running. It can't be my eyeliner. I've never been allergic to it. We switched her to a clean beauty eyeliner and it went away. So what had happened is she had built up an intolerance. So sometimes that will happen too. You know, we use a product for months and months or even years and all of a sudden we're just allergic to it. You know, I have a friend who got a kitten for her birthday. Loved that kitten. 2 years later had to rid herself of the kitty. She had to give it away to a good home because she got horrible asthma and it took a while to develop and build that allergy to the cat. Interesting. Okay, but I'm getting off topic. We're talking about skin, but allergies are allergies and there's different kinds. We have to discuss one here and a little bit of a trigger warning if you can be grossed out. Let's talk about carmine, okay? Because no allergy to makeup video would be complete without discussing carmine. This is where you'll want to fast forward it if you start to gag. Carmine is used a lot in not only makeup, but food. Carmine is that reddish brown, reddish color, even in some purples. It helps create that color, and it is, you guys, made from the dried bodies of a type of beetle. And there he is on the screen. I warned you it was gross. And you know what's grosser actually is that this is used in, carmine is used in foods and stuff too, coloring for candies and things like that. Where it's not used, we have, what is it, that red dye number 10 that a lot of people are allergic to in itself anyway. Red is kind of a harmful shade, I think, causes a lot of allergies, whether it's a dye or carmine in the dye and that can build. I have a feeling that my friend with her brown and ruddy brown eyeliners was allergic to the carmine. Look, you're lucky if you can decide what it is. There's a little bit of detective work. For instance, with me and the Lisa Eldridge, this foundation a lot of people say it's drying. Did it just kind of dry my eyelids a little more than the rest of my face and make for itchy eyelids? Or am I actually allergic to an ingredient in it? I don't know. I just had to stop using it. And that's the question. I think with this, it's the sunscreen because I used it really, really well. And I've had other foundations that get a little older and it can be the sunscreen ingredient. I'm thinking a chemical sunscreen that kind of changes its little molecular makeup and causes breakouts, clogs pores really. So you have to be ready to be a bit of a detective. Start looking for these things that bother you. If many things do, if you have the same routine every day, any dermatologist would suggest that you remove all of them. Just stop using it. Leave your skin alone until it calms down. And then if you really are, a risk taker and want to play detective, add in products one at a time. For instance, I never, ever try an entire new skin routine at once. If something irritates you, you'll never know what it is. So whether you're trying something new or whether you're trying to figure out what it is that's bothering you, add in one product a week so you can try to pinpoint what the product is and then try to see what it is that's bothering you. If you can figure it out, then you're one of the lucky ones. I know our dearly departed Mel Thompson, God rest her soul, used to always say that she knew it was cornstarch. If you watched her channel a lot, it was cornstarch and coconut. And if that was on the list, she would sometimes test it, but she had to get it off her face right away. She would get little white bumps. Do you remember that from her channel? She was lucky in that she identified what it was that was bothering her. There's a lot of detective work. Maybe it's just trying and making you itch. But all of this stuff requires detective work. That's why I said this is not really answers, but questions to prompt a discussion down below. I want to talk a little bit about pressed pigments. We need to talk about that and about promises of clean beauty and promises of hypoallergenic. So when I was a teen, I had very sensitive skin and I am allergic to everything. I have told you guys before that I'm an allergy girl. My nose is always red. I'm allergic to cats, most animals, horses. I cannot be around horses, things like that. Okay. So I used Clinique because back in the day, Clinique was supposed to be hypoallergenic and super sensitive. I could look at a Clinique blush and get red, itchy cheeks. And it was called hypoallergenic. Time for a Dr. Pepper Zero break. Still not sponsored. Still trying for it. One day. One day, maybe. I'm waiting for my cases and cases of Dr. Pepper Zero. So don't be fooled by something called hypoallergenic. It's like I said about niacinamide. It's the darling of the skincare industry. Some people can't tolerate it. So clean beauty, I mean, if you're allergic to it, you're allergic to it. Doesn't matter if it's hypoallergenic, non-comedogenic, doesn't cause clogged pores. If it gives you breakouts, it gives you breakouts. Okay, so, and of course, like I said, a lot of these scents cover up a chemical smell. Be careful what you wish for in clean beauty. The stuff can go bad faster or have a little bit of an odd smell. Let's talk about pressed pigments. This is such a bugaboo. And I have mentioned this in so many of my videos. And I think it was Miss BB in comments said, do a video dedicated to it and you could just refer people to it so I don't have to repeat myself. So this will be kind of that video. I did the last Norvina palette, you know, the really colorful Norvina palette. I think it was most of the shades were called by the Food and Drug Administration in the United States, and the country matters. They were called unsafe for use around the eye area. When I have not made a thing of this, I always get people in the comments telling me, you missed it. You can't use these on the eyes. You are not allowed to use these on the eye. People panic. Hey, I take an FDA warning seriously too. Let's break it down. I have some more information on it and let this kind of be it won't be the final word, but let us try to make it the final word. So what is the difference between a pressed pigment shadow and an eyeshadow? I bet you've always wondered, right? And years ago, I used to wonder too. Pressed pigments are simply more concentrated. No, there's no difference. The difference is, really, pressed pigments contain pigments or mixtures or powders that the FDA in the United States does not consider eye safe. Not eye dangerous, just they're not eye safe. So they can't call them eyeshadow because the implication to the consumer is that you could use them on the eyes. So that's the difference. Eyeshadow has everything the FDA says A-OK. Pressed pigments, the FDA goes and they have to call it, they have to take the word eye out of it. That is the only difference. They're all kind of what we would dub in layman's terms eyeshadows. The FDA in America does extraordinarily important work, and they are critical and crucial. So we love them. They move a little slower. You know, America's a big country. In European countries, a lot of the medical advisory boards have actually taken these pressed pigments off the danger for the eye list. And I think that's probably why companies in the United States are so free with using them and just throwing a warning. Not safe for use on the eye. I think I've said that Norvina palette, honestly, over half of these literal eye shades. I mean, they were greens and blues and stuff. You wouldn't put them on your cheeks or lips, and they were considered not safe. And really what it was Anastasia Beverly Hills just going, hey, look, we're in compliance. We're not trying to fool anyone. You've been warned. So, and the U.S. moves a little slowly at removing those warnings. Does that mean that you cannot use pressed pigments around the eyes? No, it is warning you for a number of reasons, okay? Number one, the FDA in America has perhaps found that those pigments can stain the eyes. Eyeshadows can stain the eyes too. What does that mean? Have you ever removed your makeup, especially if you use one of those probably carmine containing dark browns or reds, and you clean and you look in the mirror and you think, are my eyelids a little bit darker than usual? That it doesn't last, but it kind of can stain the skin around the eyes. It takes a few washes or a few days for the body to absorb it. But if you've ever had that, those pressed pigments are, the FDA finds that they're probably more prone to that. They also feel, the FDA currently feels that those can cause some irritation, red eyes, itchy eyes, swollen eyelids, things like that. I am allergy girl, and I have never reacted to what is deemed a pressed pigment. Companies, big companies like Anastasia Beverly Hills are just very obvious with it. They put it everywhere. They are in compliance. You have been warned, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, a lot of companies in America are like, hey, our FDA will get there. In Europe, they've removed those. So it really depends on the country you're in. And also, hey, you've been warned. If you're going to say to me in comments, Rebecca, I would not dare use something that the US FDA says not to use on my eyes. Okay. Totally cool. I have never reacted from it. I meet people that react to a lot of safe for eye use products before pressed pigments. But that's why it exists, and that's kind of the story behind it. Okay, I just wanted to talk about that. So how do you avoid getting these allergies? Well, the first is, remember, if anything around your face is itching, stop using everything. Your skincare, sometimes even your shampoo. Another little story here, when I was in college, I had such a rash here, and I would kind of put my hair over it for a while, and I had to go to a new hairdresser one day, and I remember she said to me, sweetie, you're reacting to your shampoo. I don't know if it's the shampoo or the conditioner. I stopped using it, and within 3 days, it was gone. She was absolutely right. So it can also be shampoos. Look, our hair generally touches our face. So soaps, shampoos, remove everything. If you're having an irritation, remove everything. And I know you're going to say, but I can't. No, I mean, remove whatever products you are having irritation. And when you add them in, wait till everything's clear, add them in one at a time. If, when you get the reaction, you will know what caused it, and then start your detective work. Did it dry you out and therefore make you itch? Are you allergic to it? Did you receive itchy areas in other parts of the body? You know, because the skin absorbs things. What are we dealing with here? Can you pinpoint it? If you can pinpoint what it is, then you should become an ingredient reader, lister, remember. And remember, do not say, nope, it's not that. I've used that for months and never had a problem. You can develop it. So this is where I'm opening up a discussion to the community. As I said, I don't have answers here, just a lot of questions, a lot of thoughts. Let us know below, what have you reacted to? I'm sure I left off something glaring that we should have spoken about. What has your reaction been? Did you solve it? Did you figure it out? And what are you allergic to? Are you an ingredient list reader? Some people have like their little magnifier on their phone out to read those tiny things, you know. Let me know if that's what has become for you, and has that helped you? And what are you reacting to? How many carmine allergies do we have out there? Very common. Generally, those ones I read, like cornstarch and carmine and coconut, are kind of likely culprits. You know, our bodies are very similar, you guys. It's very rare that there's some really weird allergy that none of us have heard of out there. And fragrances, preservatives, are you a migraine sufferer? Allergies, asthma can be set off. Hair products, remember. So I want to hear everything from you guys. Think of this video more as an open discussion and your thoughts. And I wanted to clear up the things about the FDA eye pigment warning. So let's talk about it all in comments below, please. I would love to have a lively conversation going on down there, and I know we can all learn a lot from each other. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope that you did. Feel free to recommend other topics that you would like explored in Beauty Basics. I've got a lot more coming up, going to talk about a deep dive into SPF and things of that nature. So we've got a lot more coming up in Beauty Basics, but feel free to make suggestions as well. I love to hear what you guys think, and if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that I don't miss you in any of the upcoming videos. Bye-bye.